Good morning, Ken here. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Glad you're here. So it's morning, it's about 7:30. I'm in a place about an hour and a half, pretty much southeast of Nashville. I'm in a place called Twin Falls in Rock Island, Tennessee. And there's a big, beautiful waterfall here. I've been dying to get here. Finally decided to do it today. It's a very interesting place, and I'll show you when we get down to the falls. I just parked, and I'm already really close to the falls. You can, as soon as you open the door at the parking lot, you can hear the falls. But I am down here on another overcast day. I'm deciding to try and shoot waterfalls as much as I can when it's overcast, so you don't get all those really glary highlights off the falls. But anyways, I am here. I'm getting closer to the falls, and I'm gonna figure out how to photograph this thing. This is a bit of a challenge. So I'm gonna head down the rest of the slope here, the rest of the trail, get down by the water, and I'll explain what's going on. So anyways, thanks for being along with me. Let's go check this place out. All right, so down by the river here, it's a really interesting situation. Water is flowing from left to right as I'm standing here, and upstream from here there's a dam. And when they put the dam in the river, obviously the water behind the dam rose up, and so the river curves around, I don't know, I'm guessing maybe a mile or two that way to the, I guess that's to the north. And when they did so, as the water rose behind the dam, the water started flowing through the ground, through the cracks in the ground and the fissures, and it started coming out here out of the side of the hill. And so you've got this long section of cascades where there's no river dumping over the top, it's just pouring out of the rock. It's a really interesting situation. It's a bit of a challenge. You can't photograph the whole thing in one shot because it's going on all the way over here, and then it's almost, I can even see something further down there. I bet it's almost a quarter of a mile of falls. So what I think, I'm going to obviously take a picture of this main section, picture or two, but then I'm going to start picking out certain areas, smaller compositions within there. There's some beautiful cascades just topple one over the other over here. I'm really looking forward to getting that. And probably going to put my telephoto lens on at some point too to really get tight shots in there, but we'll see how this goes. Got a bunch of really cool like egrets and herons and stuff over here to my right. Maybe try and get a picture of them. But anyways, this is a really interesting place. It's a bit of a challenge, like I said, because you can't get the whole thing in at once, but I'm gonna give them my best shot. I'm gonna put a polarizer on to cut some of the glare. Like I said, it's overcast today, but there's still a bit of glare on the water. So I'm gonna put a polarizer on and get rid of some of that glare for the photos. But yeah, we're here. It's beautiful. There was only 2 other cars in the parking lot, so I didn't even see a soul yet. So the way I feel, I kind of got this place to myself. So gonna get set up and I'll walk you through some shots here. All right, I'm pretty much right where I just said my little intro here. Composition is kind of something like that. I got a leading line with these rock laying around the edge of the river here, kind of bringing your eye over to the scene. There is a lot of space in here being taken up by the water, so I might drop the camera down a little bit lower, like this, to get rid of some of that space. So I'm going to do that and take a couple photos here, but man, it's so loud in here. I know I've said this before and you guys can usually hear me, but I hope that you can hear me over the sound of the water. It's just really loud. But yeah, beautiful scene. Beautiful scene. So I just took a walk over down along, there's a peninsula out over there, right across from the falls, and it was super misty, super wet, and it was just too close. You're actually like 20 feet or so across the river is the falls, and it was too close. So what I did is I moved a little bit further downstream now, and I've got a really cool rock out here in the middle of the river, kind of sticking up in the air, a little foreground element, and I'm going to shoot these smaller set of cascades behind it as well. And then if I move around here, there are several more cascades sitting out in here that I'm going to try and shoot from across the river. There's some more foreground elements over there maybe. And then a little bit further upstream, I'm not going to try and show you right now, I can see a small falls coming in from the same side of the creek or the river that I'm on. So I'm going to try and get over there and get some photos of that as well. But yeah, really beautiful in here. Just trying to find, you know, some compositions that work for me. But yeah, just beautiful. I did get a couple tight, closer in shots while I was over there of the falls. There's a really cool area up in there. I don't know if you can see it from here, but there's like basically a tree laying in the falls. And it looked really cool in camera. We'll see how that comes out. But yeah, I'm gonna get set up here and walk through my next composition. Okay, so I'm set up here. Look how I was discussing. I've got this rock in the foreground. I don't know if it works real well or not. I'm going to probably do like a 16 by 9 crop of this and get rid of some of this water in the foreground and just try and keep, you know, coming maybe across here and just have a little bit of water between the rock and the falls behind it. But yeah, it looks good. The photo looks good I just took. So we'll see how it comes out. Yeah, here it is. I'm gonna move a little bit further downstream here now and see if I can start picking out some of these smaller falls across the way. Alrighty, so I am set up fairly low here again, and got a composition, something like that set up with the majority of the falls in frame. Kind of got the rocks on the left-hand side kind of framing things up. What I did is I put a neutral density filter on so I could slow the shutter speed down a bit more. So I'm about a 2-second exposure, and what that does is it takes all the roughness and the ripples out of the water and kind of really smooths it out, so it's not as much of a distraction in the photo. So I think it looks really sweet in the camera. We'll see how it comes out when I put it on the computer. All right, sirens are going off. Generally, when you're in these kind of areas where there's a dam, that means there's going to be a release of water from the dam. So I'm up on a bluff right now to stay out of the way of that, because these waters can rise really fast depending on how quickly and how much water they release. So I'm going to hold up on the bluff for a while and kind of walk the bluff line and try and find a few more compositions. But yeah, really interesting. I've never been around when this is happening before, but yeah, pretty cool. So let's see what happens. Okay, I've been working my way downstream up on the trail on the bluff, and I just came across this beautiful creek, and there's a little falls that happens right down into the main river below me, but this is where the water's coming from, and I've got my camera off the tripod. I'm going to try and work through and figure out a cool composition in here. This is just spectacular. Wow. I am super excited about this find. I would have come here just for this. This is so nice. Oh yeah, holy cow. Very excited. I'm gonna get my tripod down here. Got something really nice happening. Just, what a beautiful scene. Yeah, here we go. All right, I am set up really low in the creek here. Looking upstream, something like that. Got the cascades kind of climbing all the way up through the scene. Got a really nice little boulder over here. It's a foreground element. This log over here on this side is not in frame. I might move back a little bit further to get that in frame as well. Just kind of helps bracket the photo on the right-hand side. But I'm going to snap a couple photos here, and I'll put up the best one, and I'm going to move further up. There's a bigger falls up there that I want to go check out. So anyways, here's this photo. So I'm down here, I'm really close to the water, and getting enough splashes on the camera lens. Need to get them cleaned off, don't have spots. But really nice composition here. Here's what I've got framed up. And here's something like this, with the water coming right at me. Little spillway over here, nice rock with some vegetation growing out of it, and then the rest of the water leading your eye up through the scene. Really pretty in here. I haven't seen a soul here yet either, which has been really nice. So anyways, I'm going to keep moving up the falls here and see what I can find next. Well, I made it up to the top of the falls here, and beautiful little cavern cave underneath the falls. You can actually walk all the way around and underneath the falls. Really amazing. It's a bit of a challenge photographing from this side over here at the top of the falls. But what I've got is set up right below me here. What I've got set up, and it looks pretty cool in camera, is obviously the falls coming through and then this fallen log mirroring the falls. And then I'm catching just a glimmer of light coming through on the backside, so you can see that there's just this slab of rock here where the water's spilling over. It looks really cool in camera. We'll see how it comes out when I get it in the computer. But yeah, this is really beautiful in here. So anyways, here's this photo, and then I'm going to start heading back to the car. I've been here a couple hours now, so got to get a move on. But yeah, I think rain's coming pretty soon too, so don't want to get caught in that. But anyways, beautiful. All right, I got one last shot set up here before I leave the falls. It's looking something like that. So falls coming down, some beautiful mossy boulders in here. Got a bit of the cave, and then this spillway rock has a hole in it. Really interesting little feature that shows up really good in camera. This might be my favorite photo from up here. Looks really nice in camera. So anyways, here it is. Okay. Okay, I'm back at the car. Boy, that was a beautiful place. Hope you guys enjoyed it. The main falls was amazing, that's for sure. Very picturesque, lots of little compositions to pick out of that. But for me, that last little bit up in that little creek and that falls, man, that made the whole trip for me. That was just spectacular. Always seems like when I get a little bit more off the beaten path, put in a little bit extra effort, I always seem to find my best compositions and best shots. So worth the effort again. Really cool place. I'm gonna hit the road. I got about an hour and a half drive home. And so anyways, from Rock Island, Tennessee, Twin Falls, amazing. Thanks for being along with me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you on the next one.